Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the GDB. Oh my goodness, man. Well, that's a flash. Man, why did I say
Oh my
that?
God, yo, you almost said the old name.
I
Holy
almost
shit.
said the old name. Well, I mean, it's
No,
kind of
that's
appropriate
funny.
because we were the GBDing podcast for the first 8 or 7 episodes, and we're talking about
Yeah,
some of the movies we talked about back then. But this is the Dead Film
yeah.
Critics Society. Don't get that wrong. As always, I'm Daniel here again with Aiden, as always, at GBD Reviews,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram.
Yes,
Make sure to
sir.
check out his amazing reviews.
Haha.
Today, we are going to be taking a look into the past. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but considering obviously these movies don't represent each week, because we have done a couple of episodes per week, plus there's some stuff here from the
Yeah.
Canada bracket thing we did. But
Mm-hmm.
these are the movies we've talked about, and we're on episode 21 now, so it's been 21 weeks, and that is more than a third of a year. So we've been doing this for a little bit, and I thought it'd be
Yeah.
cool to take a look back, and we'll probably be doing we'll do this in the future as well. Maybe, hopefully, maybe one at the end of summer. We'll see. Um, of all the movies we've talked about, and it's time to revisit them. See, we might have watched these again. I may perhaps we might have different thoughts about them now, and we're going to talk about that right now, and also look back at some of the movies we were picking in the early days. So
Yes,
let's
sir.
get started. Let's start with Mank. Let's talk about it
Mank.
before we decide where we want to place it. So
All
Mank
right.
ended up
Well, yeah.
being the most nominated movie at the Oscars, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it
Oh.
did. So it got 10 nominations. From the looks of it, as being an Oscar predictor, I projected probably only to get one. I
Yeah.
would be
I
quite
think that's
surprised if it
fair.
got any more than that, to be honest. Everything else, it doesn't look like it has the greatest chance. But, still a very solid movie. People definitely have found it one of the weaker Best Picture nominees, from most people's opinions.
Yeah.
I do think it's on the bottom half for me.
Yeah. No, I would agree. Yeah, I remember you
Yeah,
were very high on it when it came out, but I guess as the years
yeah.
gone on,
I'm
you've
I'm still
seen a lot
pretty
more of
I'm
the other
still
films,
pretty
right?
high on it. I don't think my opinion's dropped a little bit, but
Yeah.
I would say it's closer to an 8. I think I said it was probably like a 9 or so. I don't think
Yeah,
I said it
something
was
like
close
that.
to a
Yeah.
10 at least. I do know
No.
it was. I think, and I want to revisit it though because I think I was more interested in what the film was trying to do than a lot of people. I was also very much appreciating the presentation of the movie, which actually could upset for cinematography. It did win the ASC award, the American Cinematographer Award, but Nomadland looks pretty close to winning in that. It meant could
Yeah.
upset. And I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I think the cinematography is excellent. I think it's very well done. Um, you know, I really enjoy that part for sure. People have
Yeah.
also criticized Gary Oldman's casting a little bit, seeing as he was apparently like 20 years older than the actual person he was playing at
Yeah,
the
but you also have
time.
to keep in mind that people aged horribly back then, so it kind of makes sense if you think about it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was
Yeah,
Fincher and like mentality going into it, and that might have been somewhat, but obviously some
yeah,
of the more youthful energy he was trying to resemble, especially in some of the drunk scenes, while he's pretty good at acting them, I don't think people agreed with them overall. And,
yeah.
I think there's nothing this movie's trying to say that particularly stuck with me. I will definitely say that's maybe why I lowered it to an 8, personally, in my
Hmm.
head. I don't know. I still need to rewatch it. I still enjoyed most things about it. Still pretty high on it, but yeah. I like it better than a couple of other Best Picture nominees. But, Aiden, I don't know. What do you think? What do you remember?
Well, I mean, like I thought it was okay when it came out. It wasn't one of my favorites of the year. I think it's dropped off a little bit for me considering all the great films we've seen this year. But I do like a lot of the production aspects of it. I think from that standpoint, and of
Yeah.
course a musical standpoint, it's done very well. But
For sure.
I don't know, it just doesn't really do it for me. It's like it's a bit. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's exactly the type of film that should get nominated at the Oscars, right? Because it's like an
Yeah.
homage to old Hollywood. I kind of have equated to a bit like, Once Upon a Time in
Yeah.
Hollywood, right? I did
And
like
yeah.
that movie a lot more, but like, I kind of feel like this one really plays into that idea, right? Because it's
Yeah.
talking about, I don't know, the golden age of Hollywood and like all these
Yeah.
like influential people are in the film.
hmm
And yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite. Maybe I'm just not into the whole style, how they tried to make like an old movie, but I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
and
of the
I'd
stuff.
say I don't really think any of its Oscar nominations are particularly not worthy.
Yeah, no,
It
no, I would
just,
agree. I think it does
yeah.
deserve it. Yeah, but I just don't think it's good enough to
Yeah,
win
I
in
just
most of the
think
categories.
maybe the one I'd actually honestly be the most reluctant to put it on for is Best Picture. Honestly, even though
Yeah,
all the
I would
parts of it are
agree. Yeah,
very impressive, the movie as a whole isn't anything spectacular.
no, I
You
get
know,
you. Yeah,
I don't know where as far as a tier and slash rank, where are we thinking for
uh,
now? I kind of want to put in B.
yeah, I'm
I'd be
fine with
close.
B. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
All right, let's put in B.
Yeah.
All right, the prom. This was our
Okay,
second
F,
episode. Your
F,
first recommendation.
F,
Not off to a hot start.
F,
Your
F.
first couple recommendations, as you can see, weren't too hot.
One of them was
Looking,
just as a joke, though.
yeah,
I want
one
to
of them
make that
was kind
clear
of
to
as a
the
joke, but
audience.
also that joke turned into
Yeah.
one of the worst jokes ever
Okay, but
assembled.
it
You
was
know,
also just funny to talk shit about it though, because we got to vent our frustrations about
yeah,
the industry. We'll get into that in a bit, but as
true.
far as the prom goes, I think I should speak on this first for
Yeah, go
these
ahead.
reasons. All right, so I mean, I mentioned this before. It's like I don't even know where to begin. Like this film, it hits such a surface level when it's examining these societal issues, and it makes the people just change overnight or just be like cartoonishly homophobic. Like it's not good at all, man. Like, and
Hmm.
I still regret giving it a 6 out of 10 because honestly, like now thinking about it, it's like a 3 out of 10 for me.
Yeah,
Like the only thing that kind of makes it better is like the production aspects, because that's
yeah,
kind of nice. I do like some of them, right? But other than that, it's
yeah,
just offensively surface level. And considering it was directed by a gay person, I figured he would have actually handled it better. But here we are again.
yeah,
I can't find a film with a ton of good representation for me. And like we did actually cover one that does have really good representation, and we'll get to that later on. But like as far as Hollywood goes, there's not a ton of films that really handle it well. There's only a select few.
yeah.
And when it's good, it's good. But when it's
Hmm.
bad, it's really
Exactly. Yeah, this
bad.
was like trying
You
to
know,
be a
it
lot,
thought it like it thought it was smarter than
like,
it was. Honestly,
there is
yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure, like, I don't want to assume this, but there is a little bit of a stereotype of the gay community, especially a lot of them being into musicals. And it
Oh
felt
yeah.
like this was the musical that was supposed to be their thing, the
Mhm.
gay musical, if you will, with, a gay main character. And they just botched it
Yeah.
horribly because, frankly, I don't think the main character is even, like, the high school student. That is, we've talked about this. That was maybe
Mhm.
one of the worst parts of this film, is that it was trying to be a high school movie, but then they threw in Meryl Streep and fucking James Corden in the movie,
Yeah. Don't even get
which
me
was one
started
of
on that
the
man. I'm
most,
gonna lose my
yeah,
mind.
which
Honestly.
from like just a writing standpoint in the original musical is bad, but then you cast people, well, specifically, I mean, Meryl Streep's okay in this movie. She doesn't really
I
fit
didn't
it
mind
too
Nicole Kidman
well.
either. I thought she was
Yeah,
okay.
she was fine. I don't know why she was
Yeah.
in it though. James Corden, however, was
No,
truly
unforgivable.
awful, and
Unforgivable.
yeah,
I'm
it was
sorry. He got
terrible.
nominated for the Golden
He
Globes
got
as well.
nominated
What the
for a Golden
fuck?
Globe, which is
That still
quite
makes me mad.
tragic.
Honestly, I can't.
The
I
prom.
can't
This
believe
movie
that
also got
shit.
nominated. I mean, the Golden Globe comedy section, except for Palm Springs and Borat, and maybe I'm trying to remember the other film, but specifically music in this film were
Mm.
terrible. I haven't seen music, but I've heard it's complete garbage.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
it's like 9% on Rotten Tomatoes and
yeah,
somehow got
it's
nominated,
really
which means
bad.
that there were
Yeah.
definitely bribes taken. Let's be
This
honest
could have
here.
easily the prom could have easily been
Yeah.
a 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 movie if they had removed those annoying adult characters, especially James Corden, and his focus. Because
Yeah.
I think the two lead teenager actresses, Ariana DeBose and Joelle and Pellman, they're both pretty good. They're solid,
Yeah.
and I especially like Ariana DeBose's singing. I think she's very good at that. That's why she's in West Side Story. I'm very much looking forward to see what she can do with that.
Yeah.
Um, but just as a movie overall, it's yeah.
Nope.
I agree. 3 out of 10, probably around where I am.
All the
Maybe I
way
don't know. I
down.
might low key like it
Nope.
better than you.
Nope.
I
F.
might be a 4 10, but
F.
are we going all the way? We're going
F.
F. Okay,
Yes.
I can. All right,
It's
we're
just
going all the way.
unforgivable, sir. I can't give it anything higher. I have to correct the mistake I made. All
Yeah, all
right.
right. Yeah, I
Okay.
feel like you're slightly overcompensating, but that's fine.
No, I
I
also look.
mean,
I have. I'm not gonna lie. I have rewatched it a couple times. It's gotten worse every time
you
I've watched
rewatched
it.
it?
So yeah, I wanted to see if I wanted to really make sure I
Damn.
hadn't made a
Like you
mistake,
were,
and I had.
yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna rewatch it. I low
Yeah.
key didn't really want to watch it the first time when I was watching through it, but
Yeah.
I did for the
It's okay.
podcast.
Yeah.
Next we have Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. This
Okay.
underperformed at the Oscars. There's another
Yeah,
Oscar
it did
movie
actually.
that I did expect to be one. Obviously, Chadwick and Viola are both still in contention for winning their for a lead actor and actress. Both could
Hmm.
happen. Neither could happen. One could happen. We don't really know. As an Oscar predictor, every day I think that Anthony Hopkins is low key sneaking up on Boseman because too many people think that Hopkins is the objectively best performance of the year or their favorite, which I can understand it being their favorite, and I mean that's obviously what they're voting for.
Yeah.
Objectively, I don't think you can say that Anthony Hopkins is better. I think Chadwick's still really great in this movie,
Oh yeah,
and
for sure. He
being the
steals the
last time,
show.
yeah, he would
Yeah.
be my vote because this is the last time you're going to be able to award him. I mean, my personal favorite all this year was probably Riz Ahmed, but
Yeah.
that's personal preference. I consider all top three like Oscar contenders, Riz Ahmed, Anthony Hopkins, Chadwick Boseman, to be about the same tier. And
Yeah.
they're all great. They all deserve if any of them win, they deserve it.
Yeah.
Chadwick does especially.
Yeah. Of
Viola
course.
Davis is great in this movie. I do think
Fantastic in
it's
a
a little
role.
bit
Yeah.
of category fraud. They put her in lead, which for this movie feels
Yeah.
like she's definitely closer to supporting.
It kind of feels
Um,
like because everyone kind of has sort of the same amount of screen time, you know?
yeah,
It's not like yeah.
and I
So it's kind
think
of hard.
yeah,
It's hard to make that distinction. I get that, It
yeah,
makes sense.
and I think that's
Yeah.
maybe why I was a little less high on her trying to like be potentially winning the Oscar, seeing as I think she's been like not thrown in the right category. I think she should be winning, or at least competing for supporting actress.
Hmm.
But she's still great. I still like the rest of the cast. Coleman Domingo is slowly becoming one of my favorite character actors overall. I like
Yeah.
everything. He's obviously had some smaller roles in almost everything I've seen him in, but I love him in everything that he's been in. Glenn
Hmm.
Turman is still good. The rest of the cast is pretty good.
Hmm.
It's a solid movie. It definitely didn't deserve to be snubbed from adapted screenplay. I think I prefer like I understand why people think Borat because Borat's not really a screenplay at all. It's
No,
just Sacha Baron Cohen, essentially.
just
I mean,
going around and
they
messing
just
with
come,
it.
yeah, they have an idea of a story, and then Sacha Baron Cohen just improvises pretty much everything. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they come up with the ideas for a couple of jokes and maybe some pieces of dialogue he plans to say.
Well, he did
But
write the
like,
Wuhan flu song. That was pretty impressive.
yeah, yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is still a very solid movie.
No, yeah, I would say.
I don't think
I
there's
liked it
anything
better than
technically
Mank.
impressive. It probably would have been my least favorite nominee if it had gotten nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
But it still has a lot of merits, and it will probably win costume and makeup, and it at least
Yeah.
I think at least one acting award, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I don't know who it will be for sure, but I think at least one. And it's definitely going to be worthy of that. Still a very solid movie in my books.
All right. Well, where do you want to put it then? Do you want to put it above or below Mank or?
I don't know where would you put it above Mank? Because I would put it below.
I like it better than Mank. I don't know if you do though. That's the only
I
thing.
yeah I would put it below Mank personally.
Okay. Well,
So
all right. Well, that's fine. And we'll just
yeah.
compromise and go with yours
We'll
then.
go with B, but we're staying in B.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stay in
Yeah.
B.
No, that's fine. 'Cause I
All
don't
right,
mind. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
A California
California
Christmas.
Christmas.
All right,
Woo!
before we don't need to talk about this
Yeah.
before putting in there, but we can talk about it a
Yeah.
little more.
That's the word. That's the worst.
It's
film I've ever
absolutely the
seen.
worst movie we've talked about in the
Yeah,
podcast.
and I've seen Son of the Mask twice. Honestly,
I don't know even know what
it's
that
a
is,
fucking
but
piece of shit. Yeah,
yeah,
we'll
this
say a
movie
lot
is
about that film.
extremely
Yeah,
incompetent. Like,
yeah.
I'm just like, I want to. What was the budget of this thing?
I don't
I want
know.
to
It's
honestly.
probably
I
higher
don't
than
know.
Nomadland. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, if it's like close to Nomadland or Minari, it's like
Here, let me check.
how.
I'll check right now.
Yeah, please
Hold on.
check for B. Because if
Okay, I
they're
got
either even like I would only I would give this movie like a pass if it had like a $200,000 budget, because that's 100% what it feels like.
Interesting. It
Well,
doesn't list the budget on Wikipedia, but I'll just have to search it up the old-fashioned way. Hold on. A California Christmas budget.
right.
Uh, doesn't what the fuck? Dude, I can't even find what the budget is.
Yeah, that happens sometimes with these Netflix movies, and I don't think they want you to know the budget,
Yeah, because they
because
don't
it's
want you
probably
to. And
embarrassing.
you can't
Yeah.
even see the critical reception on this. They were hiding the reviews because of how bad it was.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't
Yeah,
surprise me. I mean, obviously, I don't think they
yeah,
were doing. I don't think enough people watch this movie really to have a technically a critical reception. At least enough people like watch. Like this was Netflix's movie to throw out on Christmas,
oh yeah.
and
But I'm
you
sorry, but just
know, for
look
that
at this
it's
poster.
still
Can you see
garbage.
this poster? Look at this piece of shit. Like, what? It's like you could probably make something better in in your fucking software here,
Oh,
man. It looks like
100%, 100%. I don't
yeah.
just,
Like, what the
like
hell is this?
this was a complete
Jesus.
like apparently the two are dating in real life. And I
Oh
kind of
yeah,
felt that like once, but it has so many
yeah,
uses all these dumb cliches of like the you remember the
yeah.
freaking I still
Yes.
remember the like the grain or something falling, and they have to
Yeah,
they're like like they to avoid it they like run into each other. It's
yeah,
stupid. And then like the wine stuff is like, oh, we have wine, oh, we're
yeah,
saved, oh man,
yeah.
look at this, amazing.
Also, like
The
Taken, has Christmas in the title, but Christmas doesn't appear or is barely mentioned
Yeah,
until
oh
like the
yeah,
last scene
I
of the
remember.
movie.
Yeah, he said he got him the brand. I remember he said he got him the brand new video game system. It was just a PS4, which is pretty hilarious
It's just
considering
so
it's
it's
like
so shit,
brand
man.
new PS4.
Yeah,
And it's just like in a
like some
gold.
of the like I swear
Yeah,
to God, some of the scenes are filmed like it's
yeah,
foreign film.
and
Honestly, I'm
I
not gonna
swear
lie to
this
you.
like I don't
Like,
know how like I don't know where the rest of this money went because I feel like other than maybe renting the cameras, which are like I guess cinema
oh, and the
quality,
Ferrari. Don't forget
but
the Ferrari.
not that oh yeah, and the freaking yeah the cars. I forgot. That's where all
Yeah.
the money went.
Oh, and to make a motorcycle
And the
montage as well.
motorcycle.
Don't
Yeah,
forget.
exactly. Like, and there's that one shot at the beginning in the office building. It was so clearly green screen. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
I also
I
love the
remember
stock
that.
footage they used of San Francisco from the early 2000s, even though this takes place in 2020. It's weird,
Yeah, it's a
man.
very bizarre movie. You know, the two,
Yeah,
like I
like,
said, the two are dating real life. The girl wrote the movie. She also
yes.
was in airplane mode, the famous Logan Paul
Oh, well,
movie.
that does not surprise me. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And I mean, I feel like these two somehow tricked Netflix into giving them like I don't know, let's say $2 million or something like
Yeah,
that, because I can't imagine it's any more than that. And
no.
and then they just pretty much did it themselves. I guess they hired some people. Like I
Yeah,
don't know, like if anyone with any talent was on this movie, I could say something good about it, but I literally can't.
yeah,
I can't say anything good about it. I literally like I can't. I
yeah.
cannot.
This, like, actually, this broke me in the
One drone shot
Nightmare on
from the
Christmas.
field looked nice, but I don't think it
Yeah,
was even the same field, to be honest. It was
yeah.
probably
No, it
some
probably
stock
wasn't.
footage, if I'm being honest.
No, for sure. I would have to agree. But I mean, like, I'm just saying, there's actually a website you can go to and you can get current footage of, like, you can get current stock footage, like, from the past year. And they didn't do that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that hard. It doesn't cost that much money in terms of a production budget for a movie. So if they really were going to go that route, they
Yeah.
could have at least done that. And they're
It
so
also,
lazy they didn't
yeah.
even bother to.
Low
Like,
key, I feel like they came up with this movie in like October. So they had to make it in 2 months because they had to drop it on Christmas. And so as a result, it was even like it obviously wouldn't have been good either way, but it became even more of a piece of shit. And
oh
so
yeah,
definitely like it's not the cringiest acting. I guess that's probably the best thing I can say about it. It's not the cringiest acting I've ever seen. I've seen
but it just
cringier
has no
acting,
soul or life
but
to
it
it,
does. Yeah,
man.
exactly. Speaking of
Which is like,
Soul, we got
yes.
that's our next movie. Great segue. I want
Yeah.
to stop talking about that other movie.
Yeah, no,
Soul,
please do. Let's move on.
I feel like people aren't talking about how funny this movie is because that is what I
No,
got
yeah,
out of it
I'd agree.
most.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
yeah,
very funny movie.
yeah,
That's why I'm somewhat concerned about rewatching it because I don't know if it's gonna hold up comedy wise on a second watch because I don't know if most of that stuff came from like the surprise of the jokes. But
yeah,
overall, the animation is great. It's personally definitely not my favorite score of the year. However, it's
yeah,
probably gonna be very worthy of the Oscar it's gonna win. And
yeah,
while I prefer Wolfwalkers, it'll be deserving of best animated feature. Like I
yeah,
said, there's another Oscar movie here. This
yeah.
is
No, I'd
technically
agree.
another Christmas movie. That's when it dropped. And, you know, it's very enjoyable. The writing's pretty smart. Pete Docter is a director to get a great job. It's kind of, you know, it's great. It's great. Solid, very good Pixar movie. I don't
Yeah,
know.
actually, it's we don't have a ton to say about this because you and I both love this movie. But
Yeah.
as terms of which category it would be in, I think it could be A. Actually,
I
I
think
don't
it
know.
could be A. I can definitely
Yeah,
see it
I would
A.
put it in
It's,
A.
you
Yeah,
know, I want to rewatch it for sure.
yeah.
And I probably like it about the same as Mank, or probably slightly more at least. All
Yeah.
right, the big behemoth. I don't know if you can tell what this is by the poster because I couldn't find a better poster of it. Children of Men,
Oh, yeah.
which
No,
was
no, no.
your, you know,
That was I think
your
that may have been
first
the
great
favorite.
recommendation. You know, I gotta
Yeah.
say, and you know,
Wait, didn't I recommend Soul as well?
I'm pretty
Or was
sure I
that
recommended
you?
Soul because you recommended
Oh
the
shit.
California Christmas
Oh
for
yeah.
doing it.
Okay, well
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Um, Children of Men is amazing.
Fantastic
It
film.
blew
Yeah.
my mind. I still can't believe they made this movie in 2006. Like it's kind of crazy. Like you know, it's doing a lot of the stuff that, you know, like 1917 did with lots of long takes and like tons of
Yeah.
action, but I think it was even more impressive on that
Mm-hmm.
scale cuz the action was just I think it was a lot
Fantastic.
more than a lot of parts of 1917. I think it was a lot more impressive. It was a lot more engaging as far as story
Mm-hmm.
wise as well, in my opinion. I don't want to compare it to 1917 all the time. I think the
Yeah. No.
acting's
Fair
pretty
enough.
good. Clive Owen is very solid in this
Fantastic.
movie, and you care
Yeah.
about him. You care about all the characters to a certain extent, but it's mostly about being a technical movie, and its ideas about, you know, an apocalyptic world and what people would do in this situation.
Apocalyptic. Mm-hmm.
Apocalyptic world is very interesting, very engaging,
Yeah.
and yeah, the technical aspects again it just blew my mind the first time I saw it. I
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
believe they did this in 2006. Like the not only the scale of what they were shooting, but like just the scale of the entire world. Like you know, and to me, it's like Blade Runner in that way. Blade Runner does a great job, especially 2049, in creating this whole world, this whole futuristic world. This one did it also extremely well, and it did it in a bunch of long takes that
Yeah.
also look great. Like you know, it's really hard to get long takes that look this good, and they pull it off. You know
No, yeah, I would
that
have to definitely have to agree with you there. I mean, I
yeah
really do like what they're able to do, and I'm so glad that it's been shown more love recently because it didn't do that well when it came out. But I
yeah,
mean, like,
which is a
I for the life of
crime.
me,
That's a
I can't
crime
figure out
against
why.
humanity.
Yeah,
I
like what the
guess I don't
hell?
know if the company like
Yeah,
the distribution got effed and it also came out not at a peak movie time. Like I think it came out in like April, which is also why
yeah,
it kind of suffered at the Oscars. It didn't get nearly as many nominations. I think this for sure should have got a Best Picture nomination. It would have made it one of the best of the, you know, being in 2006. If
yeah,
this and Pan's Labyrinth got nominated, you know, you have one of the best lineups of all time alongside The Departed and Little Miss Sunshine. That is
yeah.
one of the best picture lineups ever if you nominate those two.
Mm,
I have
yeah,
all of those movies on Blu-ray now, and you know I
yeah,
100% justify each and every one of them, especially Children of Men. I like as soon as I saw this movie, I'm like, I need to get this on Blu-ray. I need to make
yeah.
sure that I can see this whenever I want to,
No, that
and
is a
I can
good
show
idea.
it to
It really
friends
should
whenever
be
exactly. And
done.
I'm like, I'm so excited I got that movie. It's amazing, man. I don't know. I can't stop gushing about it. Especially that last end moment, or just like the sign, you know, of a child just like breaks the entire world down, like in
Yeah,
this. It's extremely powerful and emotional,
yeah.
and just man, such a great movie. You know.
It really is, to be honest. Yeah, fantastic film. I'm glad we
No.
got to see it together. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad we
Yep.
watched
All
this
right.
movie. Um,
Well, I think this
S.
is an
This
S.
is
Yeah.
S tier. This is amazing.
Yeah. Easily.
Great,
Yep.
great movie. Yeah, just a great movie. Over. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't have anything bad to say about it really.
Yeah, of course.
Shoplifters. Now this was my recommendation. My
Oh
first of like one
yeah.
of the more niche ones because I've had a
Yeah.
couple of niche picks here.
Yeah.
This movie was nominated for Best Foreign Film back in 2018. It's a
Mhm.
Japanese film. And, you know, I watched it, I think both of us ended up watching, or at least I did, on like standard definition. And definitely didn't look as good. I'm trying, that's another reason why
Well,
I'm
I,
doing these
I got into
Blu-rays.
I ended up getting an HD because I
Okay.
got some subscription on Apple TV and I canceled it right after.
Right, okay. So, you
Yeah.
know, that's cool. I ended up watching this in SD, and I'm sad. I definitely want to see this in HD eventually.
Mhm. Yeah.
But, you know, even that being said, it's still a pretty good looking movie.
Yeah.
But compared to Children of Men, I probably maybe under because the movie definitely looks good. But like I think I was comparing it too much to Children of Men, low key in my head, and I was kind of
Yeah.
criticizing maybe how it looked. But there's definitely nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. No, it's a solid film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
If I was gonna give it a score though, because I actually don't have a ton to say about this, but I would probably put it in B. To be honest, I mean, I don't know what you think, but
Put in where?
B. To be honest,
I mean,
I would put it in like between Mank and fuck. I can't even read the other one there.
Ma
What's that?
Rainey's Black
I am
Bottom.
already. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally really liked it, and I think it definitely has the potential to be a 9 out of 10 for me. And I think the characters in the story are very unique. The acting's really great. I think it's very gritty and feels very realistic and
Yeah.
important and patient and kind overall. It's just a very human film. And I think I might like this better than Mank overall. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking of putting it below Soul right now. I don't know. Or do you want to
Maybe we just put it above Mank and B.
put
I
it
think.
above Mank?
Maybe I just need to rewatch it a few like another time,
Yeah.
but maybe that's just me at the moment. But all right.
Flight. So
Yeah, I know you don't like this movie.
yeah, I don't know. I might hate this more than The Prom if I'm being honest. To be like,
Which is kind of weird to be honest, because it got a ton of like Oscar buzz at the time.
yeah,
I'm surprised
Denzel Washington. Like Denzel Washington's, he's good. He's definitely the best part of the film by far. Because I really don't like any other part of this movie. I think that the crash scene. I like the crash scene. Everything else, like I thought this should have been probably a short film. Honestly, if they stopped at the crash, I would have been much more happy. It would have been maybe an 8 out of 10. But the rest of the movie is like a 2 or a 1. Overall, I guess it's a 3 in my opinion. There's a lot of stupid stuff in this movie. The end of it just like drags. I never believe any of the drama. I was confused half the time, like where this film's morals were, where this character's morals were. It's like, is he like actually trying to like be better? Is he like, like this character? There is something to be said for an unlikable character ruining film, but I think an unlikable character needs to be interesting. This character wasn't that interesting, personally, Like,
well, I am sorry I made you watch it. To be honest, like looking at it, like I looked at the critical reviews before I selected it. I thought it was going to be relatively inoffensive, but little did I know.
no,
This
it's
is what
really bad.
happened.
I remember that moment where this, like, let us pray, in one of the scenes where, like, he's talking to this, like, one of the... Oh, and the robot lady. So, like, his co-pilot and his wife was just, like, such a Christian robot. It was so weird. I don't know, Robert Zemeckis probably shouldn't direct drama, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like Back to the Future and some of the other stuff he's made, but
Castaway.
he clearly
That's
yeah.
like a really good one.
But I mean that's Tom Hanks, if I'm being honest, and like
no, fair enough,
he
I
clearly
guess,
doesn't know how to elevate, like, and that's why Denzel is Denzel gonna Denzel. That's why his acting is good. He doesn't know how to elevate characters. John Goodman. His direction with John Goodman's character especially was atrocious. I hated that character. Don Cheadle, I don't really love him as an actor. I'm okay with him most of the time. I also hated him in this movie. He sucks. The woman character, she was really unmemorable as well. I didn't like her at all. Like, these characters I don't like, which, doesn't always mean it's a bad movie, but they're not interesting, which means it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think it was as terrible as you're making it. I think it was okay. I just didn't think
It's
it was
really
bad.
But
That's just your opinion. But like I said, I mean, do you want to put it at E then?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it worse than the Prom.
I mean,
I can
I think
accept
it's
it being an E. It's worse than the Prom in my opinion, but
yeah, it's understandable.
It's fine. Carol.
Okay, this is actually a pretty solid film. I do like the representation, especially like considering like what time it does take place in. Like it's nice that we actually got a story like that, and I think it's all handled very well there. I love Kate Blanchett in the lead role. She does a very great job. She's a very layered performance, and
Rooney
Mara's pretty solid.
I don't know if I like Kate Blanchett is the lead. Like, I think she's closer to supporting. Rooney Mara is definitely the lead, even though she was. I think they kind of swapped these two at the Oscars because they put Rooney Mara in supporting and then Kate Blanchett in lead. And when I was looking back over the Oscars, half the the guilds and stuff didn't know where to put them. So like
Hmm.
some of the Rooney got nominated for lead at the Globes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was a thing, which makes sense. They were correct. I think she's definitely a lead.
Yeah.
Besides that, though, very well shot movie for
Yeah.
sure. I definitely like the look of it. I think that's very good. The acting is obviously pretty great. The story is nothing mind blowing. I think it's a good story. There's nothing extremely interesting here. I think a lot of other LGBTQ movies have more interesting stories. Like, and I don't think it's even being more ambitious than something like The Prom, which I kind of have to knock it for, even though obviously Carol is much better done in every aspect in The Prom. But
Yeah.
story wise, it's probably being as ambitious, but obviously it executes everything much better. Um, you know,
Yes.
the music's
I think that's
solid,
what.
even though I don't really remember it, which is, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, I don't know. It's somewhat forgettable. I don't remember a lot of plot points. I will watch this. I think I need to. I'll watch this again. I think I might enjoy it a second time. I think it will be rewatchable for sure. Um, in some ways, I think it will be a comfort drama. And I think it's
Yeah.
something I want to revisit. But
Okay.
overall, it's good.
I think okay. So, but as far as a ranking, I don't know if I put it in B. I might put it in C to be honest, because it's solid. It's just not anything
Yeah,
like
I mean, I'd probably
super
put
super
it above
fantastic.
Ma Rainey, personally.
Really,
Yeah, I
that
think
high?
so. I think the acting. Obviously, I don't think it's as good as Viola or Chadwick, but I think overall the technical aspects, I think it's a much larger film than Ma Rainey, and I think it does everything it needs to. I don't
I mean,
know.
if you want to put it there, I'm not going to stop you. Well, actually, I really can't because you're the one who's
Yeah, I
controlling it.
mean,
But yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
All right,
Yes.
let's. Yeet. I don't
All
know.
right.
We're getting a lot of B ones, but anyways,
Yeah.
let's. When they see us. So this technically
Yeah.
isn't a movie; it's a limited series.
Yeah.
But it's still extremely good.
No, it's
It's
fantastic. Yeah.
very well done. The acting is all really good. Jarell Jerome stands out and totally he got an Emmy for this, 100% deserved. I love him as an actor. He's really good. He's also in another film that we'll talk about later.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
all the acting's really great. The story, it's obviously a true one and it handles it with a lot of respect, but also goes beyond that. Has a lot of creative ideas
Yeah.
and important things to share. And yeah, all that just makes it a really good limited series. The music's really good. I
Hmm.
enjoy good amounts of the soundtrack. Overall, that's really good. It's well shot.
Yes.
It really, it got me emotional. It's very brutal a lot of the time, but I think the fact it's such an important story. And
No, it definitely it was good that it was brutal. I didn't like
yeah,
I don't like when films that deal with serious subject matter like they hold back,
yeah,
but
and I think
this is definitely one that
yeah,
didn't.
and I think it uses
Yeah.
its brutal moments in the correct way.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be
Be edgy.
cartoonish about the brutality at all. It's being
Yeah.
very human and realistic about it. The human
Yeah.
part, I think, was extremely important in this movie. It
Yeah.
does that extremely well,
All right, so
and I
S
really enjoy it.
A. What do you want?
I'm S. I'm down for S. I really think
I'm
this
down for
is
S as
one of the
well. Yeah,
best
that's
limited
cool.
series ever.
Now,
Th-
like going into a documentary, this
yeah,
one, oh my God, I love
it's
13th.
really
It's like
good.
it's one of my favorite documentary
Yeah, it's
films. I think it
definitely
might
a
be my
top
favorite
documentary
actually.
for me as well. I would
Yeah,
agree. Very
yeah.
informative, very I think one of the best things it does is breaks down something that can often have way too many gray areas and breaks it down to simple
Oh
facts
yeah, for sure.
that
Yeah, I mean, like if
allow
you
you to
have questions
understand,
about, yeah,
a lot of things about the United States history with slavery and its laws that often oppress
yeah,
minorities and especially in this African Americans. And it makes it very clear, especially and also I think it's also trying to be very focused on it as a just an overall humanitarian issue, especially with the amount of like the prisons and the amount of people they have locked up compared to the rest of the world. It's very heartbreaking and important to realize that these things kind of need to change.
yeah.
And yeah, it does a very good job at doing that. Lots of heartbreaking and important stories that stick with me and well presented. I don't think the presentation's not as good as something like When They See Us, but still pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for a documentary, it's very very good. Yeah, it
No,
definitely
it's
should
definitely
have.
solid. Yeah.
It got nominated at the Oscars. definitely
Not surprising,
deserved.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say this was
Yeah.
really, it really did a good job at like handling the subject matter. I really loved it. Like I remember the first time seeing it. I actually watched it before you and I saw it in like. Oh wait, no, we didn't see it in class. Actually, no, we
No.
had to do a movie review on it. That was the whole point. That's why
Mm-hmm.
we brought it up. But like, I remember the first time I saw it. It was like I think it was like right around when the whole George Floyd shit was happening. Like it makes you angry. Like to realize that like nothing has really changed over the course of like hundreds of years. It's
Yeah,
incredible how eye
like
opening it
I
is.
think
Like
the
it's
base, yeah, the basis.
yeah,
like things have changed, but they're often disguised in different evils, which
yeah,
overall have a lesser effect, but are still like, especially in the public eye, they have a lesser effect. But
yeah,
overall, there's still a clear undermine and still a lurking evil in the United States, and now that's being exposed a lot more these days,
yeah. Even
especially
in
in
Canada, I mean, like you sometimes do see stuff like that happening here. Like
yeah.
we've had instances of police
Mm-hmm.
brutality here
Yeah,
recently. I mean, like
exactly.
there was yeah,
These
yeah,
things happen, and
yeah,
there's got to be a lot of stuff done to change it. It shows some of
yep,
the stuff that's changed, but still a lot of the stuff that still needs to be, and it's very
hmm,
informative in that way and very well done. Um,
yeah.
as far as the ranking goes, I don't know if you want
I
to
think
put
it's
it.
an A. Yeah.
I think it's A.
I
Do
don't
you
think
want
it's
to
as
put?
good as when they see us, but I'm good with
Yeah.
A, to be
Do you want to
honest.
put it above
Yeah.
Soul though?
Ooh, that's a tough
I
one,
mean, that's a very
actually.
hard thing to compare.
I don't know.
Um,
I think they're about this. I think like let's just because they're so hard to compare. Let's just put them like let's just keep them like that. I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All
have them
right.
on equal footing.
Queen and Slim.
Yes.
All right. You know, this is a good movie. It's okay.
Yeah. No. Definitely solid.
I'm glad.
I mean,
I'm definitely closer to saying it's okay. I'll be
yeah.
honest. I think this is about a 6 out of 10 for me. I gave it like a 6.5. I think the first time. I like to try to keep things round these days. So
Yeah.
6 out of 10 is where I'm at. I don't think it's closer to a 7 or closer to a 5 either. I think it's 6. It's a good number for me.
Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
gave it a 7. I quite liked it a lot, to be honest. I mean, like I love the choice of music. I love the cinematography. I love the two lead performances, especially Jodie Turner Smith, I believe her name is. That was
yeah,
like her debut film.
yeah,
And I
it's
think it does.
good.
It's like it's a pretty cool story. I mean, like it's almost like Bonnie and Clyde if Bonnie and Clyde were actually good people. It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting, to be honest. I quite
And
like it.
I guess that's
Yeah,
something that's a little gray. Like, obviously, it's trying to see them as
yeah,
people, and I think it does a good job at that. And like, I don't know, they really do take them out of their like normal lives like extremely quick. We don't get a sense of that at all, which
no,
I
that is
think was
fair.
a
Yeah,
personally was a mistake. But I guess there was something trying to be done with the messaging there. Lena Waithe wrote this movie. I think she's a very solid writer. I think she's, sometimes gets too much in her own head about trying to, trying to too much about messaging. And I think that does have some, like, effect on the story overall. I think it could have been better.
yeah,
But, and there's some stuff that didn't really make sense to me. But yeah, like you said, I don't love the soundtrack. It's a good soundtrack. I don't love it. Um, One thing I do have to kind of knock against it, even though I do like a lot of this movie, and I think the story's very solid and the acting's good. I think low key this might be like Daniel Kaluuya's worst performance that I've seen him in. Um, Obviously I haven't seen all of his films, but I think this maybe is like I've seen other directors clearly make him like better. We'll talk about one of them later.
yeah,
But really make him shine. And I think this one kind of, it's okay with him. I think it could have been better though. Right,
yeah.
and there's a little stupid, a couple dumb story elements, a couple of good, powerful moments though that still stick with me, and you know, it's also not a stupid movie. It's not trying to preach
Huh.
to the audience. It's subtle in a lot of ways. There are some moments that, like I said, feel a little dumb overall, but still it's still a good film.
Yeah. All right. Well, where do
Yeah,
you want to put it? C?
I want to put it C.
Yeah, I'm fine with C. That's okay.
All
That's all right.
right.
I can live with
To All the Boys
that.
was my
Daniel's Valentine's
recommendation.
pick.
The To All
Yeah.
the Boys, I've loved it for. P.S. I love you. This was the final film of a
Yeah.
series,
I still like the
and
first one better, to be honest.
I I think this was my favorite. I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, personally, I don't know.
Yeah.
I may need to watch the first one again. I won't watch the second one. The second one's definitely the worst, for sure.
Yeah.
And see if this one's not as good, but I still think it's very solid. I gave it a 7 out of 10 the first time. It's probably a 6 out of 10 for me now. It's still
Well,
it's
like,
still solid. It's still extremely
yeah.
solid. There's
I think it
nothing
just
dumb
does
about
everything,
it.
like, for the most part, it does everything, like,
Yeah,
okay. There's not
it
too many
needed.
standout things, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the cinematography is pretty good overall. Like, I don't think it's amazing for sure. It's
Yeah.
still good though.
It's
Yeah,
better than a
the
lot of, like,
acting's good. You know, Noah
Stone.
Centineo is definitely
Yeah.
not too annoying. You know, it's not nice little heart story,
Yeah.
and you know the plot feels believable enough. There are some moments where it's like it's like it's cheesy obviously, but I don't think it ever leans into the realm of like too much of that.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
I don't think I have too much to say about it. It's somewhat forgettable, but you know,
C?
overall as an experience, I enjoyed it.
Let's put it at C then. I'm good with C.
Yeah, I'll see.
All right. Judas and the Black
Judas and the Black
Messiah.
Messiah.
I
I need
mean,
to
I like
rewatch
this
this.
film.
First of all, I need
I
to
just
rewatch this. I want to
Yeah, that's
rewatch this.
fine. Yeah.
Another Oscar film. Well, one that ended up
Yeah.
being an Oscar film, nominated for Best Picture and six Academy Awards in total. You know, very deserving. Lakeith Stanfield ended up getting put in supporting, which is, I think you would agree, is category fraud. He's definitely the lead, but the fact
Yeah.
that it got him a nomination is very cool, and I'm down
Yeah.
for
I
Lakeith.
mean, I wasn't as high on his performance as you know. I mean, I
Yeah,
think he's just solid. You know, I mean, you claim I'm a Keith Stanfield hater, but I mean, I like
I
his
kind of
work. I think
yeah,
he's
I
good.
have branded you that way.
Yeah, I
Like,
like his work. Don't
yeah.
get me wrong. I
Hmm.
don't know. I just don't really think he was, that great in this film. I think he was okay. Like, don't get me wrong. He did a solid job. I just don't know if he was
Hmm.
really Oscar worthy.
Yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
definitely your hottest take on this film is that you think
yeah,
Lakeith was just okay. I think he
yeah.
was great. I think he was good. I don't think I think we both
Same.
agree that Daniel Kaluuya is
Yeah.
the best in this film by far.
Yeah. No, easily.
He's
He just elevates every scene, man. I love it
yeah,
so much. Yeah.
he's great. What kind of brought I wish I hadn't seen the trailers because it showed him like what I believe to be his best acting moments, at least his most
Oh yeah.
energizing moments. And I wish, and there wasn't anything more, which is a little unfortunate, but it's still a great performance. Definitely, when it wins the Oscar, worthy, and I think it would be my personal pick. So I'm definitely not mad at that at
All
all.
right.
Yeah.
So what do you want to rank this as?
Oh, I wasn't ready. I was gonna.
Oh, you weren't ready?
Yeah, I was gonna couple. Yeah, I was gonna talk the
All right, well, two
cinematography.
more things. Then we really
Yeah,
got to move on here
yeah,
because
we
I think
do.
we are running like
Yeah,
long here, so we got to
yeah,
make sure this is too
yeah.
long.
The cinematography, I think, is pretty
Yeah.
well done. I really like that. That was pretty much it. And
Mm-hmm.
the music is really
Yeah.
interesting, and I do remember some of the beats it has, and I like that a lot as well. I don't know
All
where you
right.
want to put it.
I'm good with level B, to be honest. I mean, I
I
think it's
mean,
around
I
there.
think it's low end of A,
All right, fine.
personally.
I will give you that one. Fine.
All right, I'll have to
All right.
give you one thing eventually soon.
It's okay.
Malcolm
Eventually.
X.
I don't
Yeah,
think there's too much we disagree on here. I quite like this film, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great film. I think it's very good. One of Spike Lee's solid ones.
Yes.
The pacing's pretty good for it being 3 hours. I think I definitely wasn't ever bored with this. It's always fascinating. Denzel puts in a great performance. You know, he's good and very good throughout the entire three hours of this film. And like I said, and this film is good throughout the whole 3 hours of this film. There's that oneer at the beginning that's pretty cool. I think the cinematography overall is well done. Nothing revolutionary. Very interesting story, very important story about a iconic figure. Another tragic loss of a African American symbol and activist, just like Fred Hampton from Judas and the Black Messiah. And you know, I think both of those films have their merits. I think, you know, there's a couple interesting scenes that stick out a little bit to me, like the gun one, but there aren't a lot of scenes from Malcolm X that really stick out to me too much. And I guess that's maybe one of my knocks is that it's not the most memorable film. I think it could have been a little more ambitious in some parts. But for what it's doing, it's extremely well done considering the fact that it's 3 hours. You kind of got to respect how consistently well done the movie is. Never
No, I'd have to
falters.
agree with you there. I love the film. I think, obviously Denzel is probably the best part of it, in my opinion, at least. I think probably one of his best performances, honestly.
Yeah.
What do you think is his best performance, though, quickly? Before, do you think this was his
I
best?
think this is maybe his best performance.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not Flight. So,
Yeah.
and I haven't
No,
seen
I mean,
his
like, he was really
Oscar-winning
good in
ones.
Training Day as well.
Yeah, I haven't
but,
seen Training
like, this
Day.
was probably... Yeah,
but
well, like
yeah,
this compared to Train Day, I think he was probably better than this, to be honest. I mean,
yeah, and I think
yeah,
it's very good
yeah.
movie. I like
All
it.
right.
Um,
A,
A, low
I'm
A.
good with that.
I think it's a
Yeah,
little bit below Judas. I think Judas is
yeah,
doing
no.
some more interesting things.
Judas, yes.
I think it almost accomplishes a lot of what Malcolm X does, but in a shorter runtime,
Yeah,
and
no, fair
has a
enough.
couple more memorable things.
Yeah.
Unforgiven,
Okay.
you know. So we talked about this
Oh, the
on for the Canada
documentary.
bracket.
Yeah,
This is a Clint Eastwood directed and starring movie along with Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman, and there was one
yeah,
other guy. Cannot remember his name right now. It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
yeah.
It's enjoyable. Apparently, this actually got a 4K release, which is really weird.
Really?
For like, it won Best Picture,
4K?
obviously, but like other things from the '90s that won Best Picture don't have a 4K. Like, I don't know if even Saving Private Ryan has one. So it's interesting that this one got it.
Hmm.
It's a very enjoyable movie. I think Gene Hackman's pretty good in it. Again, I don't think this is the most like memorable movie or one of the most memorable things I've seen overall. I think Gene Hackman's very good. I think Morgan Freeman's pretty good. I think it's a very standard Western story, but Clint Eastwood kind of changes it a little bit so you
Yeah.
can like, oh, it's a Western, but also he brings in some new elements that you might not have expected. It's good in that way.
Yeah.
And I can't really knock it at all, I don't think. There's not really anything I don't like about this movie. The cinematography in some parts is amazing. Some parts
Yeah.
it's good throughout for sure. I don't. The music was kind of not okay. It wasn't the best. It was okay. Just guitar. It wasn't too memorable. I don't
Yeah.
know. Do you have any things to say about
I
this
really
film?
don't have a lot of opinions on this film. I think it's just okay, to be honest. I mean, like, it's not something that I look back on, a lot,
Yeah, and one Best
Kind of
Picture,
just
and
in
I
my
can I,
memory,
I
like,
can understand
yeah, I
why,
watched it.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's like
All
an
right.
8 out of 10 for me. I don't know
I
what is.
mean, yeah, we could give it like a B if you want. I mean, I'm good with that.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I put above Mank. I think. I don't know. Would you put it where? I don't know if you would.
I'm fine with that. That's okay. Don't
All
worry about it.
right. Capote.
What is that? Capote.
That's Capote.
That one's okay. Not one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
I
I think it's
think the
still
story's pretty unremarkable, and apparently some people really love the supporting actor. trying to like something Perry Mason, I think his name is, or something like that. He was
yeah.
okay. I don't think he was that memorable. Philip Seymour Hoffman is definitely the reason is the best part of the movie, easily.
Oh, of
Um,
course. Yeah.
Great performance, but like I said, I don't really remember much of the plot, nor did I care that
No, I
much.
really don't either. Like, it's
Yeah,
actually, I think it's
it's
actually making me feel tired trying to think about it now.
yeah,
Like,
it's
it's just one of those movies, like once in a while you watch a movie that is just so like kind of bland outside of one
it's
detail that you
also
just
it's
forget
pretty
all about it.
inoffensive at all other
Yeah,
parts, but it has a great Philip Seymour Hoffman performance. But
yeah,
definitely not too memorable in any other aspect. And I feel like sometimes
yeah,
it's trying to really hit you like
yeah.
with emotion, and I kind of have to knock it the fact that it did not at all, but still very
Yeah.
good.
No, I got
Like
you. All
I don't
right.
know
Well,
about very good. It's okay. It's good.
well, yeah. Well, I
Definitely
guess I mean.
not bad.
What do you want to put it in?
I
Maybe
don't
we
know.
could put
I'm
it in C, D.
C. I would put in C. I would
I
put
would put
it.
it below Queen and Slim to be honest. Background,
I
but
can run with that. That's okay.
yeah.
It's probably like
Okay.
a 6 or 7 out of 10 for me.
All right. Kong Skull Island.
Um, you know, I
I
think
already
this
know how you feel
film
about
is
this.
very okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, like, I'm diverse in just like big dumb action movies in general, right? So maybe I have a bias here, but
Yeah,
I really I have a soft spot for this film and most films in that whole genre, right?
yeah,
So I mean, I think there's some really cool shots. I know you said you think they were just like basically just like showing what they could do and without really a thought
yeah.
for
It
what
was
made
more
sense.
visual effects, and
Yeah,
yeah, like I can say that for something like Blade Runner,
yeah,
like that has obviously a lot of its cinematography is supplemented by visual effects,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I
I mean,
like
like
some of the shots. I like
I will give you that. I mean, like the one thing I will say is that there was an enormous like disparity between the amount of helicopters you see come off the boat and the amount of helicopters Kong destroys. So I mean, it's a little bit odd there. Like that's
Yeah.
the one thing that's I've always found a bit strange about the film.
Yeah.
Like there's like 50 helicopters. No, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of
Yeah. I think
helicopters.
Kong was better, more expressive in the new one, the Godzilla versus Kong. I
Yeah, I would
felt
have to
him
agree there.
be
Yeah,
way more of a character than he is in this movie.
yeah.
I kind of like the
They kind
human
of just did
characters a
what
little
would work.
more, though. I think,
Yeah.
and then Godzilla versus Kong. I think John
Mm,
C. Riley. I kind of
yeah.
enjoy his character. He's kind
Okay,
of
you know what? That
fun.
is fair. Yeah, like in
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Kong, they're not really characters. They're just people playing
Yeah.
themselves. Honestly, that's what it feels like. I
It
mean,
does, and I like
yeah,
those people, right? Which is why I don't knock the human characters too much in that
yeah,
movie.
but I mean, like
I
it just
knock them a little
just
here because
the
I don't
point.
think I like the archetypes
Yeah,
of most of them,
like
especially
they are
Samuel L.
like
Jackson. I kind of
yeah,
I borderline hate him because
like they
his
are cliche characters. I will give you
yeah
that, but fine
yeah, and
character
I
traits.
really
Although it is
yeah.
set up, pretty
Yeah,
clunkily,
and
but
I
I think
really
it's
don't
done
like
okay.
that cliche because I feel like it's just an excuse to
Yeah,
give this him just to have him make dumb decisions.
yeah,
And some of the scenes I feel like they're trying to treat them more like a horror movie,
yeah.
which was stupid. I really do like some of the shots, especially Tom Hiddleston with the gas mask slicing that like blue creature.
Those birds, yeah.
Those birds with the blue blood. Those looked those are cinematography or like look wise production design. I don't know what you call that exact art direction. Looks
No,
very
yeah, it's
cool.
fantastic.
I'll give
Yeah.
that.
All right.
Um,
Well, where do you want to put this then?
like I don't.
Throw me a bone here, man. Give it a C, low C.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah. I'm throwing
Yeah.
you a bone. I would put in D personally, but
Woo!
it's time
All
to.
right.
We haven't put
Yeah.
anything in D yet, so we're gonna have to eventually. I think we do have a film that I think is
Yeah. Well,
D.
you usually don't put anything in the D. The D usually goes inside.
Okay,
Anyways, let's.
let's move on.
Yeah.
Collective.
Oh, collected.
This
That's
is
what
a
it is. Jesus, it's
this
so
is
small.
also
I can't
one
even
of
read that.
yeah. Sorry, like I said,
No, it's
this should
okay.
have been bigger. I thought I fixed this, but I guess I didn't. But yeah,
No, it's okay.
it's
Don't worry
fine.
about it.
Collective, very good documentary. One of my best favorite. It would be my personal pick at this point for best documentary
Yeah.
feature at the Oscars, even though it's probably not going to win, which is a little
Yeah.
sad. But I like the other ones too. I'm not going to be mad at anything
My
that wins. I
octopus
think they're all
teacher.
7 out of 10s.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Octopus Teacher will probably win. Um,
Yeah.
I think more.
I think it's
I'm really
solid
glad this got
documentary,
the
yeah.
Oscar nominations though, because I think this is
Yeah.
definitely something people need to see. And if it wins, which would take a little bit of a miracle, though, I'm glad it would win because I think everyone needs to see this film. It's a very important, well done film. Brings the emotional beats it needs to. It's a very human film. Like a lot of
Yeah.
it is about politics and all that, like in the small stuff and the paperwork that needs to be done into this investigation. But then at the end, it really reminds you that this story is about humans. And I think
Yeah.
it does a good job at balancing those two elements of being about like a story about politics, but also one about humanity and
I
kind
couldn't
of
agree
how
more. Yeah.
politics can affect that.
Yeah,
And
you've hit all the story beats. I
yeah.
really liked it for all those reasons too. But this is a tough one right now because we've got one documentary in here that's an A. Where would you put this?
I'd probably put it high B, personally.
IB?
Oh,
Ooh.
were you thinking low A?
No, no, no. Like I'm just surprised. I thought you would have. I thought you
I
would have put
like
it there.
this. Like
Yeah.
there aren't like documentaries. There aren't any like 10 out of 10 documentaries for me yet. I'm sure
Yeah, I
there
guess
is
that's
some
fair,
out
right?
there.
Yeah. Because I
You
think
know.
I feel like documentaries are more subjective forms of movies. I guess because I mean like because
Hmm.
because a lot of them deal with like I don't know political views or like some sort of like
Yeah. Well,
organization.
no, I
Like
think I think what
yeah,
a documentary does well is like highlighting stuff that maybe isn't seen in like some stuff like the news, right? And I
yeah,
think obviously something like this wasn't, and it's a good documentary. Definitely, I don't know if it's it's my favorite of the nominees, not my favorite overall. There's a couple I like better, but
yeah.
you want to put it
That's
above
fine.
Shotlifters. I'll have to move everything.
Yeah,
But
I could give it that. That's fine.
all right, let me
Yeah.
move stuff real quick. All right, yeah, we should probably
All right.
try to hurry up. That's also partly
Jesus
It's mostly
Christ.
my fault. Let's be honest. Princess
Yeah, it's
Mononoke.
okay. I know how much you love talking. It's okay.
I love talking about
I'm happy
movies.
to
I
listen.
loved, yeah, I
Yeah.
love to talk, especially about movies.
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke. This was my
I think you
brother's
can keep your
recommendation
place
on the
yeah.
podcast.
Fantastic film.
Great film,
Yeah.
animation gorgeous, definitely the
Mm-hmm.
best. I mean, I think it's the best animation. I mean, Soul's obviously a clear second as far as and from an animation standpoint. I think
Yeah.
it's very good, and I enjoy it a lot. It's very, it's great.
Yeah.
Very creative. very important. You know, I think it tackles climate change and like the environment very well, and not in
Yeah.
a stupid way like some other films have. And the characters are very interesting. Their dynamic is very interesting. The Japanese
Yeah.
culture elements and the are very well done.
Yeah.
You know, and this is like it's almost a brutal film sometimes, which I think helps add to the grittiness and action of it sometimes. But I really wasn't expecting that for a Hayao Miyazaki movie. But it was a more of a welcome surprise than an
Yeah.
unwelcome one. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Uh, Sorry, Jesus Christ, that was my lunch. I did not mean to do that, but I mean, no, I loved it for most of those reasons too. Like the animation was something I haven't seen a lot of. I mean, like I don't watch a lot of those types of films. It was nice to kind of branch out a little bit because I'm more into like Pixar, that sort of stuff. Like
Yeah.
all the classic Disney movies. So it was nice to
Yeah.
see a different type of animation style. I
Hmm.
mean, like I've seen like bits and pieces of those other movies, and I always forget how beautiful they look. And
Yeah.
I also feel bad for the animators who had to draw them, like their poor hands. Jesus
Yeah, they're
Christ.
poor hands, but they're
Or
making
whatever.
great art, and so we
Yeah,
thank you.
no,
We
honestly, it
thank
is
you for
so
their
impressive.
sacrifice. They're extremely talented, and obviously they want to do that, and we're
Yeah.
very glad that they've done that. Great
All right,
movie.
well, we can put it at like high A if you want above Soul.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I think
perfectly
it's
fine
better
with
than
that.
Soul. I don't think it's S really, but I think it's still very, very good. So let's put it in high A.
Yes.
Ender's
Ender's
Game.
Game. We
Okay, I
don't.
mean, we don't really need to talk about this much. Very
I think it's a
base.
D for me, to
Yeah,
be honest.
very
It's
basic
just so.
sci-fi.
It's just very bland, to
Viola
be honest.
Davis, I can't believe how they used her in this movie. She's like the side character to like a side character essentially, which is I mean, obviously she signed up for the role. She was interested. She took it. It wasn't like a disrespect move by anyone, I
Yeah.
don't think. But like it feels disrespectful when I'm watching Viola Davis like that.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford plays the same character he's played in everything I've seen him in potentially, except I
Yeah.
don't know. I guess Han Solo. This is like best
Yeah.
version of that. As a Butterfield, definitely is not the best child actor. He was in Hugo before this, which is a Martin Scorsese movie, so I guess that's why part of the reason why he got
Oh
this
my God.
movie.
Jesus
But
Christ.
from
I'm
a
so sorry.
story, visual, world element, everything about that is extremely basic.
Yeah.
Nothing really creative or interesting about this movie. Pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Godzilla
Sorry about
versus
that.
Kong.
I
Yeah,
dropped
we're
my damn
getting into some of
AirPods.
the stuff that we've
Okay.
kind of done in almost the past week because
Yeah.
uh,
So we
it's
don't need to spend too much time on this. Yeah.
yeah, that was my friend Eric's
Yeah.
recommendation. Godzilla versus Kong. I like this a little bit better than Kong Skull
Yeah.
Island because I think the action's better done. I like the kaiju fights better
Yeah.
than
Me
any
too.
fights in Kong Skull Island. And the human characters are about the same for me. I low key like them better, even though I think objectively the ones in Kong Skull Island, especially John C. Reilly, is definitely better than any
More
characters
fleshed
in
out.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, than fleshed out than any character in uh,
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Kong. But I like the actors, which is why I enjoyed the human element enough to like get through it.
Oh, fine.
And
We can put it above Kong of Skull Island if you want. I'm good with that.
put it where?
Above Kong Skull Island if that's what
Okay,
you like.
yeah. I don't know if you have anything different to say than what I just
No,
said.
I mean I would agree. I love the action sequences. Like I'm glad they kind of went away from what they were doing in King of the Monsters. Like you saw like too many bloody fucking wide shots of like the monsters fighting in that last movie, and I'm glad we got, have go back to that more personal feel that the franchise started off with. I mean it was really unique, and I'm glad we got to see that again. Too.
Yeah,
So it makes it feel like a little bit more like
for sure.
how do you
Okay.
like a little more poetic, I guess, with the fights. I mean, like if that's really
Yeah,
what
I
but
think it does the
it's just too
Batman's.
big. It's like two big
Yeah,
action movies, two big action figures. That's to say, I
yeah.
should say, are smashing into each other. So it's not Shakespeare, but it's still a fun movie.
It's not. Yeah, definitely not
Yeah,
Shakespeare.
yeah.
All right. Well,
What
speaking
I
of
got
something
there.
I think is Shakespeare and something that you believe is weird, which I think some people think Shakespeare is weird.
Yeah,
Killing of Sacred Deer. I think this
yeah,
is probably our most divisive between the two of us of
yeah.
any of
Because
these
I think,
movies.
in my opinion, I think this is a D or an E, to be honest. But I know you think it's like an A.
It's an
Perhaps.
A. I think I would low key put it low
Uh,
S.
uh,
The acting. Okay, you can let me explain why. So the cinematography is well done. Okay, it's
yeah.
better
Okay.
than anything at least C. I think you have to admit anything C or above. It has better cinematography. Can you? Can you
All right,
remember?
fine. I'll get this. I like the cinematography. Okay, but
Yeah.
other than that,
Okay.
fucking
Barry
weird.
Keoghan. Barry Keoghan.
He was okay. He
He's
wasn't my
okay.
favorite, to be honest. I liked him better in Dunkirk. You know?
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, we have differing opinions on this for sure. I think it's doing
I
a
can
lot
see
of.
it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, look at him. He's about to explode. I think he's
I'm
getting
not,
mad.
you know, it's your opinion. I don't like, you know, I don't want to shame you for your
No,
opinion.
no, it's fine.
Of
I think
course, it's
hear
your
that when I
opinion. I
hear
want
how
to
you say
respect
it, just
it. And I can, and you
yeah,
know, I can easily see why you do not like this movie because it is very weird. It's
yeah.
the most Yorgos movie, but I love the weirdness personally. I think the music's used very well. Yeah, you know, this would be like low S, high A for me. This is like, I don't know, D for you.
Can we
So
compromise? Can we compromise?
where do we compromise? Where do we compromise?
I'm good at like B or C if you want to compromise.
Yeah, can we put it above Marini?
All right, fine,
All
fine.
right, you know,
Deal.
I'm okay with putting it below Carol. Oop, I'm moving too much stuff. All right, Mulan. You know, it's Mulan. There's like this has been talked about for a long time.
That's a weird
It's
looking poster. What the hell?
I don't, it's
Is
not,
that the?
I don't know if
I
doesn't.
don't know. Like maybe I just remember the poster funny, or maybe just it looks
Yeah,
funny
I
from
don't know.
this.
There is
From
a. I
this.
think it might be a different poster than maybe what you're used to from
Yeah. But
potentially.
I did like the animated film. It's
Mulan is a good movie, good
yeah,
animation, especially the
good voice
crowd scenes.
acting.
I remember that's the most memorable part of the animation. The story is obviously very classical, kind of a little cheesy, but I think it uses that cheese to its advantage in a lot of parts. The voice acting is very fun and enjoyable. Uh, yeah, good movie, great music.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Definitely the.
fantastic
I think
songs.
it's probably the. I don't know if it's the best. Close to the best part of this movie. I really like "I'll Make a Man Out of You." I think that's maybe
Yeah.
my favorite Disney song,
Mhm.
potentially. Yeah, really like this movie.
All right. Well, where do you want to put it then? I'm good with B or A,
Yeah,
whatever one.
B. It's like somewhere around here for me. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's fine. I'm good. I think that's a fair point.
Let's
Yeah.
put above Unforgiven and just
Yeah.
move everything over. All right,
All right.
Concrete
Well,
Cowboy.
well,
So
considering we talked about the last four like 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
well,
in the
this
past
weekend.
week,
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah, past
So we
couple.
don't have to talk about these too much, obviously. Yeah,
Concrete Cowboy, honestly, probably pretty disappointing for me. I was hoping for a bit more because I did like the subject matter. I thought it was really
yeah.
cool, but you and I both agree that we thought it could have been a
Very under,
documentary. Like,
yeah, pretty underwhelming. Idris Elba's
yeah,
kind of not used too well. Gerald Jerome
no,
is good, but like this didn't get into anything too real. I think this
ah,
felt very surface
no.
level. And while it's not
Uh,
being offensive while being at the surface level, I think there was a lot more that could have been done with this movie for
all
sure.
right. Well, do you want to put it a D then above?
Yeah, above Ender's Game, but
Yeah,
still a D.
yeah.
Zero Dark
They're Dark
30.
Thirty. Well, I love this movie. I know you're
Yeah,
not as high on it, but I
I'm
know
not
you
as
still
high
like
on it.
it.
I still think it's good. Jessica Chastain's performance is good. The rest of the supporting cast is good. I think Jessica Chastain easily stands out among everyone else
Oh
in this
yeah,
movie easily. And you know, there's some interesting thematics things with like, you know, this character doing everything to kill Bin Laden at the end, not really being fulfilled. And you know, I want to bring out my Soul comparison again because Soul kind of has a similar character arc in that Joe strives to give a great jazz performance, and once he does,
yeah.
you know, he's kind of
It feels empty.
unfulfilled. Same
Yeah.
same with Jessica Chastain's character Maya, which I still remember. So I guess the name's memorable enough. Sometimes I do
Yeah.
forget characters' names, and
Oh,
you know, in
fair. I
that
get it,
way, it's
man. Hard
impressive. The
stuff.
last sequence is very well shot. All this movie's
Yeah.
well shot, for sure.
Yeah.
Nothing technically pretty well done. Nothing bad about it. It's somewhat cheesy, but and there's some cool lines in there. You know, definitely not offensive, but definitely not great. You know, it's good.
Yeah.
Almost the
Okay. Well,
definition of good, I'd say.
where do you want to put it then?
Um,
High B?
Yeah, I would put it probably around here if I'm being lower B, lower mid B. I don't know where you'd put it. 'Cause I
I mean,
know
if it was
it was
just
up
up
to
to me,
you.
I would put it at low. But I
A?
mean, like if you
Okay.
want to compromise, then that's fine. You know.
Yeah, like I can put it above of Unforgiven. That's probably
Yeah, that's I'm
that's
fine with that.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't personally, but that's about where I
that's
stand
okay.
as far as what
Yeah.
I'm willing to put it above.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So we always talk about these two on our
Last week,
most,
yeah.
like, yeah, literally just this
Oh yeah.
past
Oh yeah.
Saturday. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, actually, Under the Silver Lake, I think we both like It Follows. I think we both gave it about a 7. We're pretty
Yeah.
we agree on this film. It's good.
Yeah.
This is
Good
like,
film.
I don't know where do you want to put it? Like, it's a good
I'm good
film.
with. Yeah. I mean, we could
Too
put
much
it.
horror
I think.
tropeness. The music's good. The acting's
Yeah.
okay. The final battle's stupid to me, but it's a creative concept, and I think for
We
the
could put
budget
it like right at
especially,
the
it's
end of
well
B.
done. Right at the end of B.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
All
good with
right,
that.
we got a lot of B's. Um, Under Silver Lake. So we're pretty divided.
Uh,
Are we divided in
yeah,
this?
I didn't like it
My
as much,
question is:
but
are we divided more on this? Like, I think I gave both of these films. I think I like Killing the Sacred Deer more, but I gave both of these films like a 9. What
yeah,
did you give those? Like, what did you give those
I
films?
think I gave that. I think I gave. Well, I gave Killing of the Sacred Deer. I think I gave it like something, and then I gave Under the Silver Lake like a 6 or something. To be
So you
honest.
like Under
So,
the Silver Lake better than
yeah, I
Killing
do
the
like Under
Sacred
the
Deer?
Silver Lake more. I mean, like I will admit that. I mean, yeah, I just.
Right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're both pretty weird films, but I think this one is definitely a little bit more tolerable to be honest. At least it
Okay.
has characters who speak like functioning human beings.
Yeah. So, we're both divided in this film.
That
I
is
like,
good. Yes. Yes.
so we're definitely more divided on the Killing of a Sacred Deer, but this is
Yeah.
probably the second most divisive then.
Yeah.
It, I really like this film. I think Andrew Garfield's very good in it. I think this bizarre character has a lot of bizarre ideas, and I think they're executed very
Yeah.
well. They're very interesting. One thing I didn't talk to you about last time is I thought a lot of the parts of this movie were really funny. I don't know if that was just me finding humor or it was trying to set up some jokes, sort of. But I thought this
No, it was a
film,
little bit funny.
yeah,
I will give you
yeah, it was
that,
definitely.
yeah.
I thought it was funny. I thought the comedy was pretty well done, personally.
All right. Well, I
So,
mean, where do you want to put it then? I think we could put it like above Queen's Stone if you want. I mean, like I'm okay with that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would put in A. So, like, I
I know
mean,
you would.
I
But
know,
like,
I know. There's a lot. Okay,
yeah.
I can survive putting in C. I mean, it's I've
You can just hear the disappointment in his voice, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, you can but I've let you, you've let me move stuff up, so this is retribution a little bit.
Ooh, tap tap tap.
Yeah,
All right.
so that is
Yeah.
a ranking slash tier
Sweet.
list of all of our movies. So I hope it wasn't too long. I haven't checked yet. But I hope you
Yeah.
guys enjoyed that if you made it to this point. Our next thing we're talking about on the podcast, Nomadland and Mother.
Yes. Yes, this should be fun.
We'll probably we'll revisit. We might end up revisiting some of these films, so we'll be doing them on the next tier list. We'll should be decently far in the future. I think we're probably gonna. I think we'll tentatively plan for closer to end of summer. But as far as things that we're doing right now, we're talking about Nomadland Mother on Saturday, but then the Oscars are Sunday, which is pretty exciting. We'll be doing a stream, I think, on my channel at ReviewEng, so make sure to go check that out on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
And we'll definitely have a video out probably on both this channel and my channel as well. Be very interesting to see, and hopefully we've kind of fixed the technical issue because me and Aiden can watch the same stream, so we're going to be synced up, and so that way, because I think at almost every award show we've been slightly out of tune, because I think you've had the faster feed almost every single time, so you're like reacting, and I'm like, yeah. I don't see it, and I just have to hear Soul, and I'm like, oh yeah, Soul, yeah, I definitely reacted at the same time. But so hopefully that's makes the experience a bit better for both us and you guys, and pretty solid film. We put a lot at B.
Yeah.
But I think a good amount of the B films
compromise.
we consider A's personally, and then I
Yeah.
guess a couple we consider C's or D's. Or even E's, apparently, for some of them. But, I think, so we agreed clearly that Children of Men is the best. I am definitely fair of saying that. When They See Us is technically not a movie, so, it's
Good series, though.
yeah, it's a
Love
very good series, and there's a reason we put it in S tier. Check that out for sure. Do not check out The Prom unless, it's not really even a cringe funny thing. California Christmas is closer to that. But it's still pretty annoying. If I'm being,
Yeah.
it's closer to
Look,
annoying.
well, I mean, yesterday was 420, but if you get fucking high, not that I
Yeah,
know this because I don't smoke weed, but I mean, like,
yeah,
hypothetically, if you want to get
yeah,
high and you want to like just watch a
yeah,
shitty film, California Christmas is
yeah.
definitely the one to
You
check
know,
out for sure. Yeah.
Flight. I think Flight is maybe the funniest of the bad movies. I think. If
Really?
I kind of like,
Oh.
I kind of found it funny how stupid it was sometimes. You know,
Hmm.
and I guess, and then the flight sequence itself, the crash, is enjoyable. So while this movie kind of sucks objectively in my eyes, I think you can enjoy it,
Yeah.
especially the crash sequence and some of the stupidity of the other part. Even though it is kind of
Yeah.
boring, so I'm not sure if that's entirely true.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
definitely check out everything that we put B or above. Check out Under the Silver Lake. I don't know. Is there any film that you think that I put C or below that people need to check out?
Well, besides California Christmas, to be ironic, definitely Godzilla versus Kong. Like, if you just want to like watch something to turn your brain off and see some cool
Yeah,
shit, you should watch that movie. For
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
honestly.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think Under the Silver Lake's cool shit. I guess.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
But
like
yeah,
popcorn thrills, not
I
like.
think Under Silver Lake's kind of that pop for me
Okay, when
at
I say
least.
popcorn thrills, I don't mean like an introspective look into
I
Hollywood.
don't
No,
think
I'm
it was
talking about.
like. I think that
Uh,
stuff is closer. Like, I don't think most people are gonna pick that up. I
I mean
think you
like
can still
classic
enjoy
popcorn.
It's mostly a crazy movie. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, fair, but I'm talking about like classic popcorn
Yeah, I
thrills.
guess
Just go
sure,
to a movie
for
theater to
sure,
watch
for
something
sure.
punch or
Yeah,
something else. To be
yeah,
honest,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, for sure. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to go check out Aid on Instagram, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys.
Bye bye.